Hello CA Foundation students. As September 2024 exams are approaching near, we will write to revise each and every chapter of accounts by doing a quick revision, and that will be done through the revision test paper which has been issued by ICAI for September 2024, that is RTP. I am saying revision test paper. So I'll go through each and every topic one by one, discuss with you every important aspect of the chapters, and let's start. इससे बहुत फायदा होगा फ्रेंड्स. ये आरटीपी सॉल्व करना बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. जो करंट अटेम्प्ट जो दे रहे हैं सितंबर 2024, उसका एवरेज वेटेज 10 to 20 मार्क्स रहता है आरटीपी का. सो प्लीज 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 इसको मत मिस कीजिए और सारी चीजों का एडवांटेज लीजिए. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद क्वेश्चन नंबर 3A, दैट इज जर्नल एंट्रीज. You are required to pass necessary journal entries in the books of Keval. Okay, so let's pass journal entries. Check amounting to 9,000 from Hari Krishan in full settlement of his account of 10,000. मुझे हरि कृष्णा से 10,000 लेना था. I have to receive 10,000 from हरि कृष्ण and he paid me a check of 9,000. तो कहना है मैंने उसको एक डिस्काउंट दिया है 1,000 रुपए का. So what will be the entry? Bank account debit, discount allowed account debit to Hari Krishna. Let's check this entry with the solution given by the institute. Here it is. You can check this. Bank account debit, discount account debit to Hari Krishna. 9,000, 1,000 and 10,000. What narration will write? Being check received and discount allowed in full settlement. Being check received and discount allowed in full settlement. Let's go back to the question, guys. Let's go back to the question. And the question here it is. Second, withdrawn for personal use. Goods sales price 8,000, cost price 6,000 and cash 1,000. So basically the proprietor has withdrawn goods as well as cash. But don't forget friends, goods always recorded at cost price. Goods always recorded at cost price. Now बताइए मुझे what is the entry for drawings? I'll say drawings account debit to purchase and to cash. Why purchase? Because goods are going out, and to cash because cash is going out of the business. So what is the entry? Drawings account debit to cash account to purchase account. Drawings total will say 6,000 plus 1,000, 7,000. And let's see the answer given by the institute. Let's see the answer given by the institute. Let me scroll this. Here it is. So drawings account debit 7,000, to purchase is 6,000 and to cash 1,000. Let's go back to the question. Transaction number 3. Goods costing 3,000. Sales price 4,000. Distributed as free samples. So the proprietor has distributed goods for free samples. Again, goods should be recorded always at cost price. So what should be the entry? Advertisement account debit to purchase because it is an expense of the business, and to purchase because goods are going out. Let's check this answer with which has been given by the institute. Here it is. Free samples or sales promotion account debit to purchase. You can write free samples, you can write advertisement, guys. Being goods distributed as free samples. Let's go back to the main question. Now, received commission of rupees 10,000, half of which does not relate of the current year and is received in advance. Now, we have received a commission of 10,000. Half does not pertain to the current year. मतलब आने वाले साल का कमीशन अभी मिल गया है और आधा करंट ईयर को बिलोंग करता है. So basically we have received a commission of 10,000. Half of it belongs to the upcoming year or next year. So can I say it is received in advance, or can we say it is pre-received commission? So what should be the entry? Whatever it is, income or pre-received income, but can I say money is coming in? So we'll say bank account debit to commission to pre-received commission. Let's check. Bank account debit to commission to pre-received commission. Here is the journal. Yes, bank account debit to commission to pre-received commission. And bank account debit will be 10,000, to commission 5,000, and to pre-received commission 5,000. Being commission received, half of it is pre-received and the balance is treated as income. This is what the narration you can write. Let's go back to the main question. Now, the last transaction of journal. Purchase second-hand machinery from Jawahar Industries for 3 lakh. Boss, we have purchased machinery from Jawahar Industries. Plus CGST and SGST 6% each. So we have paid CGST and SGST 6% each. Okay. Paid 1 lakh rupees immediately by check. So we paid 1 lakh rupees by check on the spot payment, and balance to be paid after 2 months. Can I say this is a partly cash transaction, partly credit transaction? We have purchased machinery, guys, from Jawahar Industries. We have made the payment of 1 lakh on the spot, and the balance will be paid after 2 months. The balance will be paid after 2 months. So what journal entry will pass? We'll say machinery account debit, input CGST account debit, input SGST account debit to bank account and to Jawahar Industries account. Why input CGST and why input SGST? Because whenever we purchase anything and whenever we pay GST, that GST whatever we have paid, we'll get the benefit of that GST. So anything receivable is asset, hence input CGST, input SGST, debit. Anything receivable is asset and assets have debit balance. So I repeat guys, machinery account debit, input CGST account debit, input SGST account debit, to bank account and to Jawar Industries account. Let's check the answer with the institute and let's go ahead quickly. Here is the answer. Machinery account debit 3 lakhs. Now 3 lakhs 6%. Guys, it's 18,000 CGST. It's 18,000 SGST. On the spot we paid 1 lakh. So to bank account 1 lakh. So 3 lakh plus 18 comes to 336 minus 1 lakh we have paid. So 236 is the balance figure in Jawar Industries. Being machinery purchased on partly on cash and partly on credit at the rate 6% CGST and 6% SGST each. I hope guys journal chapter is very clear with you. This is a quick recap of the transactions which has been given in the RTP 2024. I am going to the next part of the question, that is question number 3B. 3B. Classify the following expenditure as capital or revenue expenditure. Means you are just supposed to classify whether it is a capital expenditure or a revenue expenditure. Traveling expenses of the directors for trips abroad for purchase of capital assets. Guys, डायरेक्टर्स ने ट्रैवल किया, क्यों ट्रैवल किया? क्योंकि नए कैपिटल असेट्स खरीदे, न्यू मशीनरी, न्यू असेट्स द डायरेक्टर्स वांट टू परचेस. कैन आई से दिस इज अ वन टाइम एक्सपेंडिचर? What, which expenditure is one time? Travel expenditure is not one time, but the purpose for which traveling has been done, that is the purpose is to acquire capital assets. That is the capital assets will be acquired only once in the lifetime of the company. So it is a capital expenditure. So we will write capital expenditure. Amount spent to reduce working expenses. We have incurred some expenses so that day-to-day cost decreases. Can I say any expenditure which has been incurred to reduce or to improvise the day-to-day working is nothing but revenue expenditure. Next, amount paid for removal of stock to a new site. हमने हमारा स्टॉक यहां से निकाल के एक नई फैक्ट्री साइट पे ट्रांसफर किया. नाउ सच एक्सपेंडिचर ऑफ रिमूवल ऑफ स्टॉक फ्रॉम वन साइड एंड शिफ्टिंग द सेम टू अदर साइड इज वंस इनकर्ड इन द लाइफ टाइम ऑफ द कंपनी. सो दिस इज a capital expenditure. Now, cost of repairs on second-hand car purchase. We purchased a second-hand car and we did some repairing work to bring it into working condition. See, whether you purchase a fresh car or a second-hand car, but if you incur any expenses so that the asset comes into working condition, then such expenditure should be classified as capital expenditure. Why capital expenditure? Because if you don't incur such expenses, your car or your asset will not come into working condition. So can I say this can be framed as incidental expenses? Guys, I hope it is very clear. Amount spent on renewal fee of patent rights. Now what is patent rights? Something which you have registered for production activity or any other activity. So every year we need to renew the patents. Renew ka matlab, example I'll give you. Suppose if you have got a license, you have to renew it every 5 years, 10 years, 15 years or annually. Depends on the type of business which you have done. So same way here you have paid renewal fees for patents. Can I say this is a regular expenditure? Hence it will be classified as revenue expenditure. Let's check all the answers of the institute with us. Okay, the first one was capital expenditure. Yes. The second was also capital. Third one was revenue. Fourth capital, and fifth one was revenue expenditure. So I hope guys journals are clear. Capital, revenue, expenditure are very clear. If you have any doubts, feel free to contact. We have the numbers posted on the Instagram as well as the YouTube channel. I hope it's very clear guys. Guys, let's continue with cash book. Let's continue with cash book. Prepare a triple column cash book from the following transactions of Messrs. Ram Agencies and bring down the balance for the start of the next month. Okay, fine. Cash in hand, cash in bank, 30,000, 1 lakh 20,000. This will be two balance brought down. Let's go it. Let's go for it. Two balance brought down. Here we have two balance brought down. Okay. Let's go back to the main transaction. Paid into bank. The entry will be bank account debit to cash account. Bank account debit to cash account. So we'll go to the bank account debit side. Here it is to cash, and on the cash account credit side by bank in the cash column. And since bank and cash accounts are involved, it is a contra entry, so indicated by the letter C. Okay, let's go back to the main transaction. Bought furniture and issued check. So we have purchased furniture and we have issued a check. So furniture account debit to bank 15,000. Furniture account debit to bank 15,000. So can I say buy furniture? It should be. In the bank column, 15,000. Next. We have done this, we have done this, we have done this, we have done this. Okay. Purchase goods for cash. The entry will be purchase account debit to cash. Purchase account debit to cash. Let's go to the transaction. Purchase account debit to cash. So it will be buy purchases in the cash column. Done. Next, received cash from Mohan 9,800 and we allowed him a discount of how much? 200. So entry will be cash account debit, discount allowed account debit to Mohan account. Cash account debit, discount allowed account debit to Mohan. So on the cash account debit side, to Mohan we will write. On the cash account debit side, we would write to Mohan. In the cash column 9,800. In discount column 200. Let's go back to the main question. Next, cash sales. It will be cash account debit to sales account. Cash account debit to sales account. So on the cash account debit side, to sales account in the cash column. Let's go back. Paid to Lata by check. We paid Lata a check. Means we issued a check to Lata for 14,500 and she gave us a discount of 500. So can I say Lata account debit to bank account to discount received account? Lata account debit to bank account to discount received account. So can I say on the credit side of cash book by Lata, we will write in the discount column 500 and in the bank column 14,500. Let's go ahead. Next, paid into bank. Again, contra entry coming into picture. Bank account debit to cash account. What will be the entry? Bank account debit to cash account. So let's go to the solution. Bank account debit to cash. On the bank account debit side to cash and on the cash account credit side by bank in the cash column, and since bank and cash accounts are involved, it is a contra entry. Let's go back. Withdrawn from bank for private expenses. So we have withdrawn from bank for private expenses. So it will be drawings account debit to bank account. Drawings account debit to bank account. So this will go on the bank account credit side by drawings in the bank column. Next. Received from check from Gupta 14,300. So we have received a check of 14,300 from Gupta and allowed him a discount of 200. So we received a check and we gave him discount. So it will be bank account debit, discount allowed account debit to Gupta. Bank account debit, discount allowed account debit to Gupta. So it will be on the debit side of cash book. In the discount column 200, in the bank column 14,300 to Gupta account. Now let's go ahead. So this is just a discussion of the entries, the cash book, the posting and everything. Deposited Gupta's check into bank. Deposited Gupta's check into bank. Now the check which we have received, we have deposited the same into bank. So what would be the entry? Let's check. What would be the entry, guys? Just think before you solve it. Bank account debit to cash account. Bank account debit to cash. So on the bank account debit side to cash and on the cash account credit side by bank. And since bank and cash accounts are involved, it is a contra entry. So first we received a check from Gupta. So we said bank account debit, discount allowed account debit to Gupta. So basically, I would like to repeat this transaction, guys. Listen now, what is the confusion here? Sir, you said bank account debit, discount account debit to Gupta. But sir, then they are saying that the check which is issued is deposited into bank. So दो बार बैंक में कैसे गया? Guys, whenever such type of transactions come, this means that whatever check we have received from any customer, it is not a cross check, it is a bearer check. Hence the entry would be cash account debit, discount account debit to Gupta. When we received a check from Gupta, 14,300, 200 and this is 14,500. And the same check has been deposited into bank. So the entry would be bank account debit to cash account. So what we have learned from this, guys? What we have learned from this? Guys, what we have learned from this? Okay, whenever we receive a check from any party and that same check is deposited into bank, this means that the check which we have received from the party is not a cross check, it is a bearer check. I like to discuss this point little bit in detail. Let me go for the solution part. See now, whenever you received such type of check, we have written the cash column. Because it is not check, actually it's a bearer check. That's why you entered in the cash column. Afterwards, the same check is deposited into bank, so it is bank account debit to cash account. I hope it is very very clear. Mark this transaction important. I feel this is very important transaction. Let's go guys. Next, withdrew cash from bank for office use. So we have withdrawn cash from bank for office use. So what comes in? Cash comes in and bank balance reduces. So cash account debit to bank account. Let's go to the main answer. Cash account debit to bank account. So on the debit side of cash to bank and on the credit side of bank by cash. Since cash and bank accounts are involved, it is a contra entry. I hope guys this is very very clear. Let's go ahead. And paid rent by check. So we paid a rent by check. So what will the entry? Rent account debit to bank account. Rent account debit to bank account. So in the cash book credit side by rent account in the bank column. That's it. We have done this. Then we'll do the totaling procedure. We'll close cash account. We'll get a balance carried down of 89,800 and we'll close bank account. We'll get a balance of 8,500. Discount column is never balanced. It is just totaled. It is just totaled. It is never balanced because it is a nominal account. It is transferred to P&L. So it is never balanced. It is just total. So the total of discount received is 500. Total of discount allowed is 400. I hope it is very very clear. Now we'll go for the next question. That is after cash book we have rectification of errors. Let's go for this question number 4B. Pass the journal entries to rectify the following errors detected during preparation of trial bench. So when we were preparing trial bench, we found out the following errors. Let's start guys. Now I would like to advise you people, always pass wrong, reverse, correct entries and then pass the rectified entry. Always pass the correct entry which you are supposed to pass, then the wrong entry which you have passed. मतलब जो गलती से आपने रिकॉर्ड कर दिया and then reverse the wrong entry and then finalize it and then pass the rectified entry. So पहले सबसे करेक्ट एंट्री वो पास कीजिए, फिर जो गलत हुआ है वो कीजिए, फिर उसको रिवर्स कीजिए and then the final rectified entry needs to be passed. Now first transaction, wages paid for construction of office building debited to wages account. So you have paid wages for construction of office building, but the same has been debited to which account? Wages account. So let's pass this wrong reverse correct entry guys with you in front of the screen. This is question number 4B. I'll write here CFC RTP September 2024. This is question number 4B. I'll show you how we pass the wrong reverse and correct entries. This will be the wrong one. This will be the reverse one. This will be the correct entry. And after this will be the rectified entry. Now, wages paid for construction of office building has been debited to wages account. तो आपने एक बिल्डिंग कंस्ट्रक्ट किया, उसके लिए अपने वर्कर्स को वेजेस दिए and wrongly you have shown it as debited to normal wages account. So what should be the correct entry guys? Building account debit to cash. $20,000. What is the error which you have committed? You have debited wages account to cash. Means you have shown that you have paid normal wages for manufacturing of goods. But are goods manufactured or building is constructed? The answer is building constructed. So any incidental expenses should be added to the cost of asset. Now reverse this entry. So you will get cash account debit to wages account. This cash gets cancelled. What will be the final entry guys? Building account debit to wages. So how to prepare the final rectified entry? That is correct and reverse ka combination. Building account debit to wages. Let's check this solution with the institute. Building account debit to wages account. Here it is. Building to wages 20,000 being wages paid wrongly recorded, now rectified. The narration will be being wages paid wrongly recorded, now rectified. Let's go back for the next transaction, rectification one. Here it is. A credit sale of goods 1200 to Ramesh. So we have sold goods to Ramesh, has been wrongly passed to the purchase book. Very good. हमने किसी को गुड्स बेचा और हमने बताया कि वो परचेज हो गया है. So credit sales shown as credit purchase. Let's go for this working note. This was number 1. Let's go for number 2. So you have sold goods to Ramesh, I think. Yes. Yes. So what will be the entry? Correct entry. Ramesh account debit to sales. What is the amount of goods sold? 1200. What error you have committed? You have shown it as purchases. Purchase account debit to रमेश. आपने पूरा ट्रांजेक्शन ही घुमा दिया. Reverse this. You will say Ramesh account debit to purchase. Now, anything getting cancelled? Nothing is getting cancelled. Ramesh debit, Ramesh debit. So Ramesh account debit will be 2400. To purchase 1200. To sales 1200. Let's go for the answer of the institute and confirm our entry. So basically it is Ramesh account debit 2400. To purchase 1200. To sales 1200. Being sales wrongly recorded as purchases, now rectified. Let's go for the third transaction. An amount of 2000 due from Maheshan. So we were supposed to receive 2000 from Maheshan, which had been written off as bad debts. Which had been written off, मतलब in the past हमने छोड़ दिया था कि ये पैसा आने वाला नहीं है. In the previous year was unexpectedly recovered and has been posted to the personal account of Maheshan. So 2000 was receivable from Maheshan. So we have transferred it to bad debts because we lost all hopes that we'll receive the money. Unexpectedly, Maheshchand came and gave us the money, and what the accountant has done has been posted to the personal account of Maheshchand. Guys, one thing is very important. Whatever amount which you are not not going to recover from the customer is bad debts. Suddenly, if that customer comes and pays you that amount, that is known as bad debts recovery. So, what is the correct entry which you are supposed to pass first, guys? That will be basically cash account debit to bad debts recovery. What? Cash account debit to bad debts recovery. It should be cash account debit to bad debts recovery. What is the amount recovered? 2000. What error they have committed has been posted to the credit of Maheshchan. So cash will remain as it is. Instead of crediting bad debts recovery, they have credited Maheshchan. $2,000. So what error they did? Instead of crediting bad debts recovery, they credited Maheshchan account. Now reverse this. So this will be Mahesh Chand account debit to cash account. Anything gets cancelled? Yes, cash gets cancelled. What is the final entry, guys? Mahesh Chand account debit to bad debts recovery. Mahesh Chand account debit to bad debts recovery. Let's go for the next transaction. Goods costing 15,000. Sales price being 16,000. Distributors free samples. Amount prospective customers but not recorded anywhere. So the businessman distributed goods as free samples. The cost price of the goods is 15 and the sales price of the goods is 16,000. But it is not recorded anywhere. So can I say this is complete omission? So whenever there is complete omission, no need to pass any wrong reverse correct entry because we have not recorded only. So what should be the entry? Advertisement account debit to purchase, because it is an expense of the company and the goods are going out. So advertisement to purchase. Let's check this. This was the last transaction. So advertisement account debit or sales promotion account debit to purchase, being goods distributed as free samples, not recorded, now rectified. Now let's go to the last transaction of rectification of errors. Goods worth 1500 written by Ritu have not been recorded anywhere. So goods were written by Ritu. So can I say this is my sales return? Not recorded anywhere means again this is a complete omission. So not recorded means no need to record any wrong reverse correct entry. Straight rectified entry. This is as this is a case of complete omission. It will be sales return account debit to Ritu, or you can say return inward account debit to Ritu. Let's check, guys. Yes, sales return account debit or return inward account debit to green 1500. Actually, it should be Ritu. By mistake, it is printed here. Being sales return not recorded, now rectified. I hope, guys, you are clear with rectification sum which has been asked by the ICI in their revision test paper. Let's go for the next part of the RTP. Let's continue with the bank reconciliation statement question. According to the cash book of Mir, there was a balance of 4,45,000 in his bank. Means, according to the cash book, there was a balance of 4,45,000 in the bank. Matlab, can I say this is balance as per cash book given? According to the cash book of Mir, there was a balance of 4,45,000 in his bank. So this is balance as per cash book given in the problem. Now, before going for the transactions, I would like to suggest you that please read the last time what they've asked. You are required to make appropriate adjustments in the cash book. Means you are supposed to prepare adjusted cash book or the rectified cash book and prepare a bank reconciliation statement for the same. So basically, first adjusted cash book needs to be prepared. So what things will be recorded in adjusted cash book? Remember two things. Any errors committed by the owner और एनी ओमिशंस डन बाय द ओनर. सो अगर मेरी गलती है, मेरी मतलब मैं ओनर हूं, तो अगर मैंने गलती की है तो कैश बुक में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. अगर मैं लिखना भूल गया हूं तो कैश बुक में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. और अगर इन दोनों में से कुछ भी नहीं है तो वील रिकॉर्ड इन बीआरएस. मींस बेसिकली इफ there is an error committed by the businessman, it will be recorded in the cash book. If the businessman has forgotten to record something, it will be recorded in the cash book. But if none of them are there, then it will be recorded in the BRS. So let's start, guys. Checks amounting to 60,000 issued to creditors have not been presented for payment till the date. So we have issued a check. We have issued a check, but it has not been cleared by the bank. अब मैंने तो चेक इशू कर दिया लेकिन वो क्लियर हुआ नहीं है. तो क्या मेरी गलती है? नहीं. क्या मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ? नहीं. तो ये कहाँ जाएगा? बीआरएस में. कहाँ जाएगा? बीआरएस में. So first I'll do is what I'll do is I'll classify which items will go in BRS, which items will go in cash book. Checks paid into bank amounting to 1,10,500. So checks paid into bank means who pays check into bank, who deposits check into bank. Don't go on the word deposits. Who pays check into bank? We means cash book. So when we'll pay check into bank, when we receive some checks, out of which checks amounting to 55,000 only collected by the bank up to 30 June. So I have deposited one check of 1,10,500. मतलब मैंने चेक डाला है बैंक में. डिपॉजिट वर्ड से डिपॉजिट में मत जाना. मैंने चेक बैंक में डाले 1,10,500. उसमें 55,000 के चेक्स सेम मंथ में क्लियर हो गए. तो क्या ये मेरी गलती है कि जो बाकी के चेक्स क्लियर नहीं हुए? वो मेरी गलती नहीं, वो बैंक ने क्लियर नहीं किया. क्या मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ? नहीं. तो ये बीआरएस में आएगा. दिस विल गो इन बीआरएस. एज आई हैव डिस्कस्ड विद यू कि अगर मेरी गलती है, अगर मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ तो एडजस्टेड कैश बुक, अदरवाइज इट विल बी रिकॉर्डेड इन द बीआरएस. A dividend of 4,000 and rent amounting to 60,000 received by the bank. Now this time dividend as well as rent has been received by the bank and entered in the passbook but not recorded in the cash book. हाँ, तो क्या ये मेरी गलती है? नहीं. मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ. हाँ, तो ये कहाँ जाएगा? Adjusted cash book. So this will be recorded in the cash book. And in the cash book also I'll say receipt side. Why receipt side? Because we have not recorded the receipts. Insurance premium up to 31st December 2023, up to 31st December 2023 paid by the bank 2,700 not entered in the cash book. क्या ये मेरी गलती है? नहीं. मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ. हाँ, तो ये कैश बुक में जाएगा. मतलब बैंक ने मेरा प्रीमियम भरा है लेकिन मैंने एंट्री नहीं किया है, तो आई हैव टू रिकॉर्ड इन द कैश बुक. and on which side? I'll say on the payment side because मेरा पैसा जाएगा once I record. Fine. The payment side of cash book has been undercast. Receipt side, payment side. Undercast मतलब टोटल कम लिया है, मेरी गलती है. हाँ मैंने टोटलिंग कम लिया है, मेरा टोटलिंग एरर हुआ है, तो मेरी गलती है मेरी गलती. तो मैं कहाँ रिकॉर्ड करूंगा? कैश बुक. कैश बुक में कौन सी साइड रिकॉर्ड करूंगा? पेमेंट साइड. बिकॉज पेमेंट साइड अंडरकास्ट हुई है, अंडरकास्ट मतलब कम लिया है, तो वहीं टोटल बढ़ाएंगे तो क्रेडिट बढ़ाएंगे तो क्रेडिट ही देंगे, इसके लिए पेमेंट साइड में रिकॉर्ड कर देंगे. बैंक चार्जेस ऑफ 150 shown in the passbook, not entered in the कैश बुक. बैंक ने चार्जेस लगाए हैं 150 रुपए के, हमने एंट्री नहीं किया है. क्या मेरी गलती है? नहीं. क्या मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ? हाँ, ओमिशन बोलते हैं, तो ये कैश बुक में आएगा. एंड चार्जेस ऑलवेज अपीयर ऑन द पेमेंट साइड. डन. In the last transaction, a bills payable of 20,000 has been paid by the bank. किसने मेरा बिल भर दिया? बैंक ने भर दिया. बट वॉज नॉट एंटर्ड इन द कैश बुक. वेरी गुड. मेरा एक बिल बैंक ने भर दिया, मैंने एंट्री नहीं किया है. क्या मेरी गलती है? नहीं. क्या मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ? हाँ. तो कहाँ जाएगा? कैश बुक में. और कहना चाहिए एनी पेमेंट्स मेड विल गो ऑन द पेमेंट साइड. सो बिल पेमेंट, bills payable has been paid, so it will be recorded in the bills payable, sorry, in the cash book credit side by bills payable. And bill receivable of 6,000 had been discounted with the bank at a cost of 100. One bill receivable was there. मेरे पास एक बिल रिसीवेबल था, मैं बैंक के पास गया. कितने का बिल था? 6,000 का. बैंक के पास डिस्काउंट करा मतलब बिल भेज दिया. 100 रुपए बैंक ने चार्जेस लगाया, तो बैंक ने मुझे दिए कितने? 5,900, which also had not been recorded in the cash book. क्या मेरी गलती है? नहीं. मैं लिखना भूल गया हूँ. हाँ. तो ये जाएगा कैश बुक में. And don't forget guys, this is my receipt because I have received cash from the bank, and on the receipt side I record 5,900, 1,000 rupees माइनस करने के बाद. तो जो जो कैश बुक के आइटम्स है हम लोग चेक कर लेते पहले एडजस्टेड कैश बुक में जाके, क्या वो रिकॉर्ड हुई है कि नहीं हुई है. लेट्स चेक वन बाय वन. फर्स्ट आई विल से टू बैलेंस ब्रॉट डाउन 4,45,000, and then we'll go for the third transaction. On the receipt side, dividend and rent. Let's check on the receipt side, dividend and rent. Let's check with the ICA solution. Yes, we have two balance brought down, two dividend, two rent. Let's go back. Your insurance premium paid by bank on the payment side of the cash book 2,700, and undercasting also done. So let's check together. Here it is, by insurance premium paid by the bank and undercasting of the payment side of the cash book. Fine. Next transaction we'll take together. Here it is. Bank charges of 150 rupees, not recorded in the cash book. So this will go on the cash book credit side, and bills payable will go on the credit side, and bill receivable will go on the debit side. Let's check all these three transactions. Let's see, by bank charges, by bills payable, and to bills receivable. So we'll get a new revised rectified balance, and this is again balance as per cash book, because difference coming on the credit side means it is a pure debit balance, and closing debit balance comes on credit side. So we have got the rectified cash book balance, and from this balance we'll prepare BRS. So now while preparing BRS, I'll show you the working note which needs to be done. Question number 5. Since it is balance as per cash book given, I'll prepare my working note. You can see this, guys. You know this working note is very helpful, guys. Once you prepare this working note, you are thorough with the question and you will get full marks. So this is cash book debit, credit, debit, credit, right? Passbook in the center. This is receipts, this is issue payments, this is withdrawals, this is deposits. Since we are starting with balance as per cash book, I always tell my students, जो पॉइंट से शुरुआत कर रहे हो, वॉट एवर इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट, बैलेंस एज पर कैश बुक. तो थिंक कैश बुक नॉर्मल बैलेंस इज व्हाट? डेबिट. यस. So put a minus sign there and then the opposite signs. So how to put this signs is very important. Whatever is the starting point, balance as per cash book. Example, so cash book's normal balance is debit, so go on the cash book debit side and put a minus sign and then the opposite signs. I give one more example. Balance as per passbook. Passbook's normal balance is credit. So go on the passbook credit side, put a minus sign and then the opposite signs. And now whatever transactions are left, we have to post in the working note, which is pertaining to BRS. Now first transaction, checks amounting to 60,000 issued to creditors, not presented for payment. Who issues check? We means cash book. कैश बुक इशू चेक, हमने चेक इशू किया तो इशू में लिखेंगे कितना चेक का, कितने का चेक इशू किया, 60,000. So what are the instructions? Do whatever has they have done, do whatever they have instructed. Don't go for rectification once you are doing BRS. I hope it is clear. जो हुआ है वो कीजिए, जो बोला गया है वो कीजिए. बराबर, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next, checks paid into bank. So we have deposited checks into bank, 1,10,000, out of which only 55,000 were credited by the bank, collected by the bank. Same. So who deposits check? We. When we deposit check, don't think that we deposit means we are depositing into bank. Who deposits check into bank? We. When do we deposit? When we receive it. So here I will write 1,10,500. I think so. Yes. Minus 55. Why did I did this? Because 55 cleared in the same month. So whatever it is not cleared, that only will come in the BRS. 1,10,000 minus 55,000. So this comes to 55,500. Next. That's it. Everything is done. Yes, guys. So the starting point will be balance as per cash book, which is the rectified balance which you got. Here it is, 491,550. In that we will add and deduct something. We'll add 60,000 and we'll deduct 55,500. 60,000 will write check issued but not cleared, and 55,500 check deposited but not cleared. So you get balance as per passbook. So very simple way to solve BRS. Guys, let's go ahead. So BRS is also done from our side. Guys, if you have any doubts regarding any question, or you need an explanation, or you need a solution for the same, how to present it, do let us know by messaging on the given numbers and the YouTube side and the Instagram. Okay, let's go ahead. Now after BRS, what do we have? Yes, we have valuation of inventories. Very important topic, guys. Let's go for it. From the following particulars, ascertain the value of inventories on 31st March 2024. So we are supposed to find out the value of inventories on 31st March 2024. This is inventory on 1st April 23. This is opening stock. This is purchases. This is sales. So basically, sir, why are you writing this? So let's do it very clearly, easily. This will go on the trading debit. This will go on the trading debit. This will go on the trading credit. Manufacturing expenses trading debit. Selling and distribution expenses ignore because they will go on the P&L debit. And admin expense also ignore because they will go on the P&L debit side. Now, guys, very important concept for inventory, that is treatment of abnormal items. First of all, a businessman deals always in normal goods. So whenever there are any abnormal goods included anywhere in the trading account, please remove it. कहाँ पे भी अगर abnormal goods घुस गए हैं तो उनको निकाल दीजिए. निकाल दीजिए मतलब remove it from both the sides of trading account, from the debit side as well as the credit side. From the debit side, remove it from the figure of opening stock or purchases. Remove it from the figure of opening stock or purchases. If nothing is mentioned, remove it from purchases. मैं वापस बोल रहा हूँ, अगर आपके ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में एबनॉर्मल गुड्स इंक्लूडेड है तो दोनों साइड से निकाल दीजिए. दोनों साइड मतलब डेबिट साइड एज वेल एज क्रेडिट साइड. फ्रॉम द डेबिट साइड ओपनिंग स्टॉक और परचेजेस. क्वेश्चन साइलेंट है तो परचेज में से निकालिए. फ्रॉम द क्रेडिट साइड रिमूव इट फ्रॉम द फिगर ऑफ सेल्स और क्लोजिंग स्टॉक. नथिंग मेंशन, रिमूव इट फ्रॉम क्लोजिंग स्टॉक. वापस रिपीट करता हूँ, क्रेडिट साइड में से सेल्स या क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में से निकालिए. कुछ नहीं बोला है तो क्लोजिंग स्टॉक से निकालिए. ये हो गई निकालने की बात. पर व्हाट अमाउंट यू विल डिडक्ट, व्हाट अमाउंट यू विल डिडक्ट फ्रॉम द परचेजेस कॉस्ट प्राइस, from the sales selling price, from the stock value. From the stock means I'm talking about both stocks, opening stock as well as closing stock. Let's start, guys. So this is the paragraph which is relating to abnormal goods at the time of valuing inventory on 31st March 2023. Now this is 31st March 2024, which we are supposed to find out the value of inventory. So what they are trying to say, at the time of valuing inventory on 31st March 2023, मतलब लास्ट ईयर के क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में कुछ गड़बड़ था. मतलब कहना है सर इस साल के ओपनिंग स्टॉक में भी कुछ गड़बड़ है. A sum of 20,000 was written off on a particular item which was originally purchased for 55,000. You have written off an amount of 20,000 whose original purchase price or cost price was 55,000 and was sold during therefore 50,000. So एक बात तो क्लियर है कि ये abnormal goods है because you people have written off 20,000 whose original cost price was how much 55 and it was sold for how much 50,000. So समझो आपने गुड्स खरीदा 55,000 का, कुछ रीजन की वजह से वो खराब हो गया, सड़ गया, तो आपने उसकी वैल्यू कितने से कम कर दी? रिटर्न ऑफ का मतलब you have reduced the value of that particular stock by 20,000. So according to you the cost price is 55 and you feel that you will not get 20,000. So what is the value which you have decided? Means what is the value of the stock? 35,000, and the same has been sold during there for 50,000. मतलब आपने गुड्स खरीदा था 55 का जो एकदम नॉर्मल थे, ड्यू टू सम unwanted circumstances that goods became abnormal, and what you have decided that we will reduce the value of stock, we will write off the stock by 20,000 so that the stock will be valued or stock will be sold at 35,000. So can I say this is the value of the stock which has been decided by the businessman, but fortunately the stock has been sold for 50,000. So यहाँ पे मेरा सिर्फ एक ही intention है, you find out the selling price, you find out the cost price, and you find out the value. So the selling price is 50,000, the cost price is 55,000, and the value which has been determined or decided by the businessman is 35,000. Now what is the concept of abnormal goods? You have to remove it completely from both the sides of trading account. So when you were valuing last year's closing stock, there was one abnormal item lying in the closing stock of the last year. अभी पिछले साल के क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में एक एबनॉर्मल आइटम है, तो इस साल के ओपनिंग स्टॉक में भी एबनॉर्मल आइटम होगी. स्टॉक में से क्या माइनस करते हैं? वैल्यू माइनस करते हैं. सो व्हाट अमाउंट विल डिडक्ट फ्रॉम स्टॉक? 35,000. So from the debit side, remove it from the figure of opening stock or purchase. Nothing mentioned then purchase, but here it is mentioned in the opening stock it is included. And from the stock we are supposed to deduct value, that is 35,000. The same stock has been sold during there. From the credit side, remove it from the figure of sales or closing stock. If nothing is mentioned, remove it from closing stock. But यहाँ पे बोला है कि ये goods बिक गए हैं. कितने में बिके हैं? 50,000 में. So what you will do? Less from sales 50,000 and less from opening stock 35,000. That's it. In expect for the except for the above mentioned transaction, GP earned during the year was 20% on sales. Now let's see how they have solved. I'll show in my presentation the easier way to solve this up and to score full marks. Say I don't present in this way. I'll prepare a trading account for you guys. This is question number 6. Let's go back to the question. Here it is. I write here. This is valuation of inventory. Write this heading. And guys, I'll show you the entire solution through trading account. Okay guys. Let's start to opening stock. Now, while valuing last year's closing stock, there was one abnormal item which was included in the closing stock of the last year. So by default, opening stock will also include that abnormal item. So how much opening stock was it? 3,50,000. And what is the value of the abnormal good? 35,000. So I'll say 3,50,000 minus 35,000. So my stock comes to 3,15,000. Next, to purchase is 12 lakhs. Next, by sales 1850. Now these abnormal goods were sold, so we need to remove it from sales, and the sales will remove the selling price. So my revised sales are 18 lakhs. Next, we have the manufacturing expense of 1 lakh. Selling and distribution and admin expense will not come. And they have mentioned GP ratio is 20% on sales. So here two things are missing. One is the GP and the closing stock. So we can find out gross profit. This 20 on sales, I always do this. CP plus P is equal to SP. परसेंटेज के बाद जो वर्ड है उसको 100 अज्यूम कीजिए. So 20% on sales, so my sales will be 100, profit will be 20, cost will be 80. What is the sales amount which I have? 18 lakhs into 20 divided by 100. So we will get the GP amount. I guess 360, yes. So can I say my gross profit is 3,60,000? Now I'll close this trading account. Do the total. It's 3,15,000 plus 12 lakh plus 1 lakh plus 360. So this is 19,75,000 total. Minus 18 lakhs 175. Let's check the answer with the institute. Yes, we have 175. So guys, I hope you like this method of trading account. Anyhow you can do it because there is no specific format for this. So we got closing stock of 1,75,000. So very fast you can do this sum of inventory by preparing a trading account and doing the needful for yourself. Okay, so this is inventory also done from the RTP September 2024. Okay, let's go ahead. Now we have depreciation and amortization. Let's go for that. Okay, so I told you that we'll go for depreciation and amortization, but before going for depreciation and amortization, we'll go for bills of exchange first because it's a very simple topic and they are more focusing on this chapter right now from last two attempts. Let's discuss this first and then we'll go for the depreciation part. Adya owed 1 lakh to Ananya. Sorry, Ananya no. Adya owed 1 lakh to Anya. So whenever owed word comes, you have to say has to pay. Now read the sentence. Adya has to pay to Anya. So who is the drawer? Anya is the drawer and Adya is the drawee. After deciding who is drawer and drawee, read the last line. In whose books they have asked us the entries. Past journal entries with narration in the books of Anya. Anya and ignore dates. So dates need to be ignored and they have asked entries in the books of drawer. So let's go one by one. So Adya has to pay to Anya. So Adya is the drawee and Anya is the drawer. On 1st October 2023, Adya accepted a bill drawn by Anya for the amount of 3 months. So Anya draws a bill on Adya. So first entry will be bill receivable account debit to Adya account. Let's check this. Bill receivable account debit to Adya account. Yes, we have the first entry for 1 lakh. 1 lakh being bill drawn for 3 months. Let's go ahead. Here it is. Anya got the bill discounted to the bank for 99,000 on 3rd October. I'm not focusing on the dates because the dates are not mentioned. They have told to ignore the dates. So bank account debit, discount account debit to bill receivable. The entry would be bank account debit, discount account debit to bill receivable. Let's check the journal entry. Here it is, bank account debit, discount account debit to bill receivable. 99,000, 1,000, 1 lakh being bill discounted with the bank. Let's go back to the question. Before the due date, Adya approached Anya for the renewal of the bill. So whenever renewal of bill comes, always think 4 steps. 4 steps, that is dishonor, or people say cancellation of bill. Second step, interest. Third step, part payment. And fourth step, new bill. Whenever renewal comes, think of these 4 steps. First is dishonor bill. So Anya will say Adya account debit to bank account, because from Adya it is receivable and the bill lies with the bank. So Adya account debit to bank account. Adya account debit to bank account. So in the journal, we'll go and check Adya to bank. Yes, the bill amount will be 1 lakh. Next step will be interest. Adya account debit to interest. Let's go for the interest theory, or the things which you have mentioned regarding interest. Anya agreed on the condition that 50,000 to be paid immediately together with interest. So there is a part payment of 50,000 coming along with interest. Means interest is always charged on the amount which is not paid. जो पैसा नहीं दिया उस पे interest charge करते. Total bill था 1 lakh रुपए का. See, the total bill amount was of 1 lakh. I'll prepare 2 diagrams. This is part payment. This will be new bill. She paid 50,000. So 50,000 is not paid. So interest is charged on which amount? The amount which is paid or amount which is not paid? The amount which is not paid. So 50,000 into 12% into new bill is drawn for 3 months. So 50,000 into 12% into 3 by 12, which comes to 1500. So interest is always charged on the amount which is not paid, but interest will come with what that the question will mention. So here it is coming along with part payment. So 51,500 will be my part payment, new bill will be 50,000. So the renewal procedure includes 4 steps: dishonor, interest, part payment, new bill. Dishonor entry we already discussed, and Adya account debit to bank 1 lakh being discounted bill dishonored. Then Adya account debit to interest 1,500 being interest charged. Let's check whether we have all the entries with us. Yes. Yes, we have Adya to interest being interest. Then we'll have bank account debit to Adya 51,500. That is part payment. And then we'll have bill receivable account debit to Adya account 50,000 being new bill drawn for 3 months. Let's go ahead, guys. And for the balance, Adya should accept a new bill at 3 months. That we have already done. These arrangements were carried out, but afterwards Adya became insolvent and only 40% of the amount could be recovered. So after renewal also, Adya declared himself as insolvent. So insolvency will have 2 steps. One is the dishonor entry and the other is the final settlement entry. So now, what will be the dishonor entry? I'll say Adya account debit to bill receivable. Adya account debit to bill receivable. Adya account debit to bill receivable. Let me check. Here it is. So it's Adya account debit to bill receivable. The new bill was of 50,000. And then when Droy declares himself or herself as insolvent, we'll have to pass the final settlement entry. That is bank account debit, bad debts account debit to Adya. So she paid 40% of the amount. So 50,000, 40% is 20,000. So bank account debit 20,000. Whatever she didn't pay will go in bad debts account and to Adya account. So this was a very simple sum on bills of exchange. I hope you have understood it very well. Any solutions, any suggestions, if you want any hints, if you want any help you need, you have all the details with you people. You can just message me and you'll get the things done. Okay.